Hello you guys, welcome back to another video on my channel. If you're new here, I'm Ashley. I am a first-time mama-to-be, and today we are officially packing the hospital bag / I'm showing you guys what I have packed, telling you what I'm gonna grab last minute. So let's go ahead and get into this video. I am 37 weeks, a little over 37 weeks as of the time I'm filming this video, and according to my most recent OB appointment, he could be coming any day now. So it's definitely crunch time, but unfortunately our weather is less than optimal to be filming today. It is a very gloomy day, and I feel like it's about to pour within the next hour. So I'm gonna really try and get through this video without the lighting going in and out too badly. Okay, so the first thing that I have here is a document folder. This was something that I saw on a video and I thought it was genius. You go to the hospital with a good amount of documents, you come home with more, they can get put all different places. So just grab a cheap little folder to keep everything in. We have copies of my birth plan, we have the map for parking, we have our pediatric information, we have a DoorDash gift card, we have all of that in this folder. This will probably go at the very top of my bag once we are fully packed, so that's why it's still out. So get yourself a folder. The next thing sitting here is a cooler. So I don't think I've really talked much about my birth plan online, but my plan as of now is to do an unmedicated birth at a birthing center that's in our hospital. And it's very nice that there's one on the same floor with the regular standard L&D rooms as the C-section operating rooms, so that if anything happens and you need to be transferred to one of those situations, it can happen very seamlessly. But the birth center rooms have a lot of hydrotherapy, a lot of tools, they're spacious, they have full-size beds to deliver on, and they are just really nice suites. So anyways, that's our plan. And then the cooler is because I am planning to have my placenta encapsulated. This is something that's offered by a company just about 5 miles from our hospital. They do an excellent job of coming and meeting you at the hospital, picking up the cooler as soon as possible, and then getting it to you about 24 hours later. So typically before you're going home. So it's all done before you have to leave the city or the hospital even, but it is required that you bring a cooler, and then the medical staff know what to do with that. The last thing before we get into my bag that is sitting here on top as of now is my breastfeeding pillow. This is the Snuggle Me organic one. I have the honey color cover on it. It is the natural color pillow with the honey cover. I think this is going to be so lovely. It could even work over my massive bump right now, so I'm sure it'll be even more comfortable without the big bump, but it is just a really nice, I think it's a good sturdy pillow, but it's still soft. And so we're gonna take this just to have for nursing, trying to make nursing go as smoothly as possible from the beginning. All right, so let's get into my bag. This is the bag that I'm taking for me and hopefully for Luke. Our plan is to pack his stuff today. He does not have much at all, so hopefully it can fit in here. This is the Vera Bradley extra large duffel. I had one of these growing up, and my mom still uses it for vacations all the time. I gave it to her years and years ago. And so anyways, I got us a new one. This one was at the outlets where we live, so it was majorly discounted. But these things really do stand the test of time. They stretch. You can fit so much in them. So I'm really pleased with the decision of getting this. Over in this side pocket, I have my speaker because I do have a birth playlist already created that I plan to play while I'm in labor and delivery. Y'all have to excuse how out of breath I am. It is we're at that point. But I want to get this going as soon as possible, and it was just also something that fit really well into this side pocket. It's got a very spacious side pocket, and then there's also one on this side facing me. I think those might be the only two exterior ones, but I do highly recommend a large duffel like this if you can get one. So we're just gonna go top down. I do have it pretty organized, but there are a good amount of things that I will still need to throw in here, but I am actively using every day until we go to the hospital. So I have a little list on my phone of the last minute grabs, which I will go over. First thing is this hat that says Cool Mom Club. Luke got me this for Mother's Day this year, and I'm just planning on wearing it on my going home day with my going home outfit. Next is a fan. So this is something that I'm planning to use during L&D, honestly maybe postpartum. I'm sure that the hormone changes and the levels that you're spiking and dropping certain hormones and stuff just make you feel all the feelings, and so we may be doing it postpartum as well, but this is a great fan. I think it just came from Amazon. I got it years ago. It's charged with like a regular phone charger, and you can wrap these around the bed rail. You could set it up like a tripod, or I really might have Luke hold it like this and just fan me right in my face during delivery if that is what I feel like I need. Next, I'm pulling out my first packing cube. Now, I'm a packing cube girl, so it is not surprising at all that I'm using packing cubes, but I feel like it just keeps things a little more organized and sorted, especially because I try to do mine into categories. So the first one is very empty, to be honest. This is the only one that's really like my labor and delivery one. And what I have is a black nursing bra, sports bra style. It's a ribbed bra. I feel like it's just got like decent coverage. And then some black maternity shorts, like athletic, loose, super soft shorts. This is pretty much what I'm planning to labor in. Since I am planning on doing hydrotherapy so much in the tub, I knew I would need a bra for that, but no bottoms. But then when I'm outside the tub, I'm probably gonna want bottoms. This is my first time doing this, but we also are planning to have a photographer doula there, and so she will be taking photos. So I kind of need somewhat coverage, just more so that like I'm confident in the photos to show people, stuff like that. But that's it as far as what's in here. And then I'll probably just end up putting in here whatever clothes I travel to the hospital in, and then they can just stay in here as well. My next packing cube is kind of my first level of postpartum packing cube. We have about half a pack of Always Discreet diapers in here. I have the others in my caddy. I'm actually thinking, after hearing some people online, that this may be a little bit later in the postpartum game, like a week plus or 5 days plus when I'm gonna want these, because I feel like there's so many like padsicle things out there, and those you're gonna want the like brief boy shorts to put those in instead of the diaper. So then I also have the Freedom Mom regular pack of brief boy short disposable underwears. They're still sealed, all that goodness. So we have those two things. And I also have 4 pairs of hospital grade grip socks. They are short and they're like pretty breathable, but they have a lot of the grippy on the bottom so that you don't like slip and fall, kind of like how they like you to have in a hospital. And then I have 2 more of the same nursing bras. I have it in this dusty blue and a nude. So I have these to wear while I'm there. I only bought the 3 that I've shown you. And if I like them, because they came from Amazon and they were Prime, if I like them, I'll probably buy like another 1 or 2 more. Really, we're just gonna have to see how quickly I'm like recycling through these bras, but I wanted to make sure that I did like them before I ordered just like a ton, because this stuff does get really expensive. My last clothing packing cube is truly that. It's clothing, and it's kind of for all stages, I guess, of postpartum that I'm there. So the first thing that I'm pulling out is the Freedom Mom belly binder. I have no idea if I'm gonna want this or not, but I thought it'd be better to have it than not. Then I've got a robe that is super soft. This came from, I guess it's pronounced Ilia Maternity or Isla Maternity. I'm not really sure. We have one in my hometown, and I found this robe. My mom got it for me. It's probably gonna be decently long on me because I'm pretty short, but it's got good coverage. I feel like this could just be good to wear like at home and also in the hospital while I'm getting ready, while I'm hanging out, as like a little extra layer when visitors come, etc. I then have 2 pairs of pajamas from Amazon. These are like shorts and button down short sleeve top pajamas that are really soft. I got it in black, and I think this color is called Ecru. It's like a sandy beige color, but I thought these would be really good for nursing and just accessing everything, but really nice to have postpartum if I can wear them instead of the gowns. And then the last thing in here is my going home outfit. This is just a loungewear set from Amazon. It actually looks really nice. I cannot put it on now because of my bump. I'm really hoping that it fits when I'm going home. If not, we will be doing something else. I feel like this lounge set is one that looks pretty like put together and cute, like you would wear it just out in general, but it's still really soft and it can be loose fitting. I have it in this heathered gray, which I really like, but then I also ordered it in like a misty blue color. The blue was not prime, so it is coming, I think it said like June 22nd. My due date is not until July 3rd, so technically it should get here with plenty of time, but the day I'm filming this I think is like the 14th, and so in a way like another week seems so far off. So anyways, I'm really glad that I have it in the gray so that in case we deliver before that blue one gets here, I have something. But I do think I'm gonna live in these like when visitors come over and going out and about for a while. I think they'll be really cute in the fall, so I'm not really worried about having two sets. Okay, that's kind of it as far as clothing, pajamas. It seems really weird to be packing and not packing like normal underwear, but I know that that is just not gonna be happening. So that's kind of it for me as far as your normal like clothing, undergarments, pajamas, etc. Now kind of getting more into some of the more niche hospital items. So the first thing, I have these base, I think it's pronounced base, these base like travel kit bags. I have never used these and I'm so glad I have them for this occasion because so much fit in here, and I'm like so happy that I have it. So the bigger one is kind of like a mix of L&D, postpartum, healing things. So we will get into it. The first thing on top here are my birth combs. If you've never seen people use birth combs, it's with the like pain receptor cycle in your brain, and it helps redirect the pain, and it's kind of like a pain management tool for birth. Next, I have my bag of essential oils. I am on the fence about bringing my diffuser. I do believe that my birth center has a diffuser, but I kind of want the diffuser postpartum if they'll let me diffuse my postpartum room, but I don't know that they will. So that's kind of making it like hard to know if I should bring it or not, because if I don't have to bring it, that would just be a nice extra thing to not have to bring. I then have a labor essential oil blend in an oil form to use to massage onto my body and to like inhale and all of that. It is a mix of, oh goodness, let's hope I remember all this, lavender, geranium, frankincense, and clary sage. Those 4 oils make up an essential labor blend that you could also diffuse, and that's why I'm bringing my oils. They were in a lovely book called Nurture. I highly recommend it if you haven't read that. And then I also used the same 4 mixed with some distilled water to make a mist to like mist onto myself, onto my pillow, etc. I then have 6 element packets because we definitely need to stay hydrated, and of course I also want Luke to stay hydrated as he is in this with me and I need him and his A game. So I have 6 of those in case he needs one as well. I have a Vaseline chapstick. I then have after ease drops to put in my drink for like pretty soon after birth to help with the contractions as my uterus is contracting back down. I have the Earth Mama perineal spray. This is for healing, cooling. And then I also have the Freedom Mom foam. This has witch hazel, and I don't know if it has anything else, but it's just a good like relief cool foam that you can pump onto your pads or your diaper or whatever. And the last thing in here is I have 2 sleep masks, one for me, one for Luke. I left them in the packaging in case we don't use them, and then I can just return them. But I had heard some people say that something they enjoyed having were the sleep masks because of how often someone comes in and checks on you in the night and turns on the big lights. And so it kind of helps keep you just a little more like in a sleepy zone to be able to go back to bed. And that's everything I have in this one. Then in my smaller one here, I have feeding things. And I actually came across something yesterday that's still in my kitchen that I probably need to throw in here because it is feeding involved. But the first thing is organic Lancino nipple balm, nipple butter. I have that. I have the Lancino nipple covers. I have the Silverettes, and I have a large wad of disposable breast milk collecting like pads. And I need to put in there the vitamin D Mommy's Bliss drops. so that if breastfeeding is going well and I should go ahead and start vitamin D, then I have it. And that's everything in this little pouch. My next pouch are my shower essentials. Here I have soap, shampoo, conditioner. I'm not really worried about razors, about exfoliants, about all the things that I typically travel with because it is the hospital and I just don't feel like that is a necessity. But I do think it'll be nice to have my own products because I truly don't even know if the hospitals carry like shampoo and conditioner. You would think they would, but I've actually never been a patient in a hospital ever, so I have no idea. The next thing are my Tux medicated cooling healing little pad rounds to line my big pads. And speaking of which, here are my big pads. These are the Freedom Mom catch-all pads. I think there's like 18. Yeah, and they're 6 layers. So we're gonna line these puppies with the Tux, the foam, all the things. I have the Freedom Mom Peri bottle. The hospital I know does give you a Peri bottle, but the Freedom Mom one is the upside down Peri bottle, and it is apparently much more convenient. It's easier to use. It's just apparently a game changer, so we have that. I then have 5 of these Freedom Mom Instant Ice Maxi Pads. I think these could be really nice come day one, full day one, when you're really starting to feel the soreness and you want that coolingness. So I have 5 of these. I don't know if I'm gonna use all of them or if I will wish I had more, but I think that's just a good number to go with. And the last thing in my bag right now, I have 2 bath towels. They are from Target. These were really inexpensive, but I have heard that the hospital towels are small and thin and kind of scratchy, I guess. And like post L&D, when you take a shower, it's not the most comfortable or just like calming towel to use. So people had recommended bringing your own towel. I got one for me and I got one for Luke, and I did get it in black so that any bodily fluids that we might need to use it for won't be a big deal. And they were $4, I think. So I was totally like, we will literally just throw these away at the hospital. Like, we do not even need to bring them home. Okay, so now let's go through my list of things to grab more last minute. I do want to try and maybe go ahead and pack some of these things and just maybe like live out of my toiletry bags for the next few weeks so that it's just even quicker, since you don't know how the timing of things will work out. But the first thing is my Stanley cup, a 40-ounce big boy Stanley with a straw. I use my Stanleys all the time, and so I just wanted to grab that towards the end. Next, I have drinks for L&D. So I'm taking apple juice and coconut water, and I have them in my fridge because I would like for them to be cold. My plan is to pop as many as I can into the cooler, and then when we get there, we will unload them out of the cooler into the little fridge that's in the room, and then the cooler can be used for the medical purposes, but that way we're kind of traveling like good 2-in-1. The next thing are my snacks. I am not gonna show you the snacks, but I will tell you what I got. But they are just, you know, your standard snacks. I know y'all don't need to see what these things look like, but I got myself saltine crackers, dried pineapple, and ocean spray, like mango and cranberry dried fruit mix, a nut blend mix, Cheez-Its, and I think that's everything I got for myself. And then I also got Luke some protein granola bars and Chex Mix to keep him fueled as well. The next thing is my iPad. I am not planning on taking much tech, I guess, but I do want to take my iPad because if I'm doing well in L&D for a while, it might be nice to just pop on a YouTube video, put on a show, put on a movie, even if it's just for 30 minutes. I think it'll just help with a little bit of distraction if we wanted to end up having it. Next is my battery bank, like external battery charger. It is a great charger, and I take it with me on all trips, and I'm gonna pop it into my bag as well. The next thing are all of my chargers for my tech. Basically, my phone charger is the main one because not only does it charge my phone, but it's the same charger for the speaker and the fan, 2 of the like essentials, which I did go ahead and make sure the speaker and the fan were fully charged before packing them, and I'm not planning on using them until we are at the hospital, but that's kind of like the main charger, but then any other random charger that I may need for something else. A pillow. I've heard people say to take your own pillow from home because it can be just a little cozier, comfier, more supportive than the hospital pillows, as well as a blanket for pretty much the same reason. The next thing is my camera. I am a professional photographer if this is the first time you're hearing of this, and I'm gonna take my camera, I'm gonna leave it in the car, I think, while we're like doing actual delivery, and then once it's like the next day where we've been in postpartum, things have calmed down, I'll have Luke go get it out of the car or something, because I'm probably going to snap my own Fresh 48 photos in the hospital of our son, and I want to have it at least as an option. The next thing is my makeup. I probably won't take everything that I use every day, but I do want to take a good amount in case I have the time and the desire to want to do my makeup while I'm at the hospital, just to put myself, or like make myself feel put together. I just want to have the option. Makeup remover wipes. Next I have vitamins. I'm gonna take my prenatal and my postnatal and just let them kind of tell me how I should transition using those. Next are toiletries, just your basic toiletries. This is kind of the stuff that I use every day, and so I may go ahead and just try and live out of toiletry bags for the next upwards of 2 to 3 weeks. Who knows? I at least need to have a good list to like operate off of, because I'm sure my mind will be going a mile a minute. But my toiletry bag. Shower shoes. I have pretty much lived in the same slip-on cloud, like squishy shoes for a good while now because of my swelling of my feet, but I think those are going to be probably the only shoes that I take with me to the hospital maybe, but they are like a waterproof shoe, and so I could use them as my shower shoe. And the last thing is my nurse gifts, which I have packed and they're at the door, but I want to make sure we grab those as well. One thing I don't know, and I'm still kind of torn about, is if I'm going to take this camera, my vlog camera, and my vlog equipment. Part of me thinks that it would be incredible to have a birth vlog to reflect on, but we are having, like I said, our doula who does labor and delivery photography and golden hour photography. We'll have the pictures from her, which will be so good. I don't know if I mentally will be able to think about the vlog. I just feel like I'm probably gonna mentally be somewhere else, and I just don't know that I could try and capture much on camera, but we may take it in case. I'm not really sure. TBD on that. And then to kind of round out this segment, for Luke, I have a little list for him, which like I said, we are hopefully going to pack today, but I have his iPad, his chargers, his Awala water bottle that he loves and loves to use, a pillow, a blanket, same thing for him, 2 to 3 outfits to have just for while we're there, socks, underwear, pajamas. He is not a huge pajama fan. He just in the past like 6 months has started wearing pajama pants to like lounge around in, hang out in. Sometimes he sleeps in them because I've got our house like an icebox right now, but he's really not a huge fan of that. But I'm like, you're gonna just have to be, because we're gonna be at the hospital and you're not the patient, so you gotta be clothed. He has a dad hat. I got the blue and pink Dad Gang dad hat. They're very viral. I'm sure you've seen them before, but I got him those pre our gender reveal, and then at our gender reveal when we found out we were having a boy, he wore the blue one for the rest of that day and all that. So I want him to take the blue one there, and we'll have our little hats on our way home. His toiletries, his snacks, which are with mine, so I do already have it checked off. His AirPods, I guess mainly for, I feel like I might shoot myself for putting that on the list, but I think I'm good with him having like his tech stuff as long as it's never interfering with the main reason we're at the hospital. Shower shoes for him and shower stuff, and that is all on his list. So that is everything that's going in my hospital bag for me, for Luke, but now we gotta get to this little guy. So let's go ahead and let me show you everything that we're packing for him. All right, so we are now in baby boy's room, and I am going to show you everything we're taking for him. We are going to be using our diaper bag for like his bag, and this diaper bag, I will be totally honest with you guys, I just took all the stuff off of it. Like the tag is still on it and I need to get it off, but I also just took like all the paper out of it that's been like stuffed into it, holding its shape and all that. And let me tell you, this is like the most spacious diaper bag. If we can't get all of his stuff in here, there's a problem, because this is like the biggest bag. It has so many good compartments. So anyways, I'm really excited to get this thing packed, but let me show you all the stuff we're bringing for him to the extent of just not giving away his name. So the first thing is I'm bringing 20 newborn diapers. This may not be enough. I really don't know. I looked online and it said to bring 20 to 30 if you wanted to bring your own to the hospital. So I'm bringing 20. I really want to use the diapers that we want to use from the beginning if they will work. So that's why we're going to bring those. And then on top of that, I'm going to bring the wipes dispenser that we have because it does have water wipes already in it. And those are the wipes that I would prefer to use. I'm not as like gung-ho adamant about what kind of wipe we use, but as like diaper, but I would like to use those wipes if I can. I'm going to bring 4 little footed onesies. These are all size 0 to 3. I don't have a single newborn size anything because I'm just kind of expecting him to be a big boy, and I don't think he will hardly ever fit in newborn. If I had to assume, this is just me assuming, really not going off of anything great, they'll just be a little big if he doesn't like fit in them totally. Anyways, we're just gonna rock and roll with that. And then one of those is probably what we will bring him home in. I don't really have like a going home special outfit. I want him to be cozy and comfy in his little car seat. And so yeah, this is our little stash for what he can wear in the hospital and then also what he can go home in. I then have 3 little newborn hats that are rolled up. I have a like dark dusty blue, a lighter sky dusty blue, and a white. These go really well with his little name announcement signs. They go well with the pajamas if we need to do a little hat. I then have 3 swaddles. I have 2 muslin and 1 stretchy, and they're in nice like blues and oat flaxy colors. I'm taking so many because we have 2 name announcement outfits and I want to like match those and line his little plastic bassinet sheet with these for when I do the actual photos. So that's why I'm being very extra and taking all those little swaddles. I then have his little name announcement signs. We have 2. I have one that looks like a cloud and one that has the goose, since obviously like, hello, we have done a goose theme, but we have not revealed his name to anybody. Like no one knows. So we are going to keep it private still. I then have this little bubble. It's actually a 0 to 3 months, so it may swallow him, but it's like a dusty salt blue color and it has his name embroidered in just like a really classic-y like serif kind of font just right here in white. And so we will either do this to do his photos, or I have more of like an oat colored one, also 0 to 3 months, and it has a hand stitched more like cursive-y font with his name on it. So we will do one of these 2 outfits to announce his name with the little signs. I honestly may do both and just have pictures in both because that's a very Ashley thing to do. You will have to excuse my dog because she is barking and I am so sorry, but we are almost done. The next thing is the Hatch Go, I think is what it's called, or Hatch Rest Go. I'm not quite sure. This is a portable white noise machine. We will definitely be taking it with us to use probably from the beginning. People have said take your Hatch or take a white noise machine or something. So I'm just going to take the portable one as we want it to attach to the car seat when we leave the hospital and pretty much stay there anyway. So we're going to do that. I also randomly have this little bottle of olive oil, just like standard pure olive oil. I have this to use to put on him before his first poop because the meconium can be really like tarry and sticky. So our birth class teacher told us to take a little bottle of olive oil, put it on his bottom and everything, and the meconium would wipe off like way easier. So we're gonna do that. I also have this little like set of, it says inkless ink pads. Not really sure how this is gonna work, but it's for like footprints. I think it's got like 4 little framed situations. I don't know if they still do their footprints in the hospital. I really assume that they do. I think you get 2, which is great. But I do probably want to at least do like 1 or 2 more just to maybe give grandparents or have like multiple copies for ourselves. I don't know. It was inexpensive and I saw someone recommend to take it. And especially in case your hospital doesn't do footprints anymore that you get to take home, then you can do them and have that little old-timey keepsake. Next, I have 2 pacifiers. I really am unsure if I want to use either in the hospital because people do say to establish a breastfeeding connection relationship if you're wanting to breastfeed before you introduce any kind of soother. But I do have it in case we do want to introduce a soother. I would like him to be able to take one of these. So I have the Frig brand in this like baby blue, and it's so cute with the scallops. And then I have the Bibs one in the ivory. So we have 2 different kinds. They honestly look very similar bulb nipple wise, but I'm just gonna take 2 and we'll see which one or whatever we end up doing with them. The next thing is I have the Frida nail file. I've heard people say that their nails come out really scratchy, and a lot of times one of the very first things they'll do is scratch their little face once they have all that room and stuff. And so you want to like clip or file their nails down, but their nails are so tiny. The nail file has come very highly recommended from other mamas on YouTube, and so we're going to take that with us. And the last thing for him, which is really not for him, it's more for us and our family and friends, but I have these EL bubblegum cigars for It's a Boy. It's still in its plastic wrapping, so I honestly have no idea like what to expect when I open these in a way. But my parents had these exact things when my brother was born, and one of my like favorite things to do at the hospital every day when I went and visited was to give all the visitors a bubblegum cigar. They make them in blue or pink, but I've always remembered that for some reason. So anyways, they still make them. They're on Amazon. They're very inexpensive. It comes with I think like 36 actually. So I have no fear of running out, to be totally honest, but I thought it would just be a fun little thing for people to take with them after they meet baby boy if they come to the hospital. Okay, you guys, and that officially wraps up everything we're taking to the hospital. I know it may seem like a lot to some people. It may seem like not enough to some people. This is just from my research, my rationale, what I think is going to work. But please give me a comment below if there's something I am missing. Maybe I won't have had him by the time you guys see this video, but honestly, maybe I will have. So we'll just see how it goes. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed. Please subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I think this might be the last video you're seeing before baby boy is here or before he makes his arrival on YouTube. I cannot believe it, but I can't wait for you guys to get to meet him, to know his name. Oh, I'm just so excited and so ready to be holding him in my arms. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.